If you enjoy farm podcasts, then tune into Carrot Cash Flow for all things farm business. Join us as we explore the latest trends, tips, and stories from market farmers running businesses just like yours. Whether you're a seasoned farmer or just starting out, our podcast has something for everyone. Listen in and grow with us. Available on all major podcast platforms. Don't miss out. Subscribe to Carrot Cash Flow today.
What are your most profitable crops? Looking back now, you've been a couple years into it. What are you saying? Hey, this is where I wish I had started, or this I did start with the right crops. If someone was going to start, where would you say what crops should they start with if they
So
were
for-
in your area?
Yeah. So I would say being a market farm plays a big role because, you kind of know from reading things and talking with the growers and going to the market yourself, you can kind of see what people are selling and what they're selling a lot of. And obviously working for a farm who was a market farm, I could directly see like, what am I picking the most of? What is he selling the most of? And so number one by far is arugula. Arugula is our number one most profitable farm. I would say it is about just the arugula itself is probably right at about 10% of our annual revenue just in that one crop. And we're not even moving a particularly large amount of it. I would say it's like a modest amount compared to some other operations. Yeah, arugula, lettuce mix is another really big one. And it's probably coming in somewhere at like 9%. And then broccolini is kind of our third most profitable. And obviously these also are the highest selling items. The one item that is that sells higher than the broccolini but isn't quite as profitable would be our carrots. And that's just the sheer amount of time and labor it takes. Carrots are finicky to germinate. They take a while to germinate. You got to weed them a lot. You have to harvest them. You have to bunch them. You have to wash them. And, for a big 3/4 pound bunch of carrots, you're getting the same price as you would for a 4/10 of a pound ish of broccolini. Where the broccolini, you're planting it, you let it grow for a month and a half, 2 months, and then you're just picking it, every single week for months on end. But I would say between the arugula, the lettuce mix, and the broccoli, those are definitely our most profitable, and it makes up about 1/4 of our sales every year.
Okay. All right. And how many beds, and I didn't have this question earlier written down, but how many beds are you running with for your production? You're working full time. How many beds are you turning over throughout the season?
So it's hard to say how many like bed flips we're doing because obviously it varies a lot. You have something like arugula that you're getting one cut and then you're turning it in and you're on to the next
Replanting.
thing, it might only be planted for a month in total, and you're sowing it every other week. Some people are sowing every week and things like that, where then you have other things like, green garlic or leeks or even some of our longer season brassicas where those beds might get planted twice in a season. But currently right now, so we've grown exponentially. When we first started, I would say all the way up till the summer of 24. So like that first half of that first year, we had 16 100-foot beds and a 20 by 40-foot high tunnel. And that's all we had. And then we've just steadily grown. I had the whole farm mapped out. It's changed slightly over time as we've built another larger high tunnel. And so, you kind of have to work around that. That's a big piece of constructed space that you can't really move and it's not mobile. But more or less, the farm has been mapped out and has stayed the same as what it initially was in the winter of kind of 23, 24. So now we have 38 100-foot beds with the small greenhouse, and then we have a 72-foot tunnel that has 7 72-foot beds in it. And then we're going to be adding 4 more 100-foot beds and 6 72-foot beds this spring, and that's going to max us out. So we'll be like, we've completely filled up our 3/4 acre spot, but that kind of gives you an idea of the amount of square footage that we're working with.
Today's episode is brought to you by Modern Grower. Let's face it, seeding in the nursery is tedious and time-consuming. Turn the drudgery into efficiency with the time and labor-saving Quick Click Seeder by Modern Grower. The Quick Click can seed a full nursery tray in seconds. It's fully compatible with all trays on the market, such as paper pot, airstrip, cell trays, prop tech, and more. The Quick Click can also be used for microgreens. Cut your time spent seeding by 75% with a Quick Click Seeder available at shop.moderngrower.co.